You know those days, right? It's those days where you walk in somewhere and immediately, just by the vibe, you've been judged, tried, and found guilty all before you've even said hello. Well, I have a friend, Dr. Anya Vance, and she had one of those days, except her judgment happened 30,000 feet up. And it ended up costing one major airline millions. Anya is one of those people who carries true power, but she doesn't wear it. She was flying out of Atlanta, heading to a crucial board meeting in San Francisco. She's the CEO and founder of this giant aviation tech and leasing company, Aurora Dynamics. But sitting there in a first class, she looked like maybe a successful college professor, wearing tailored slacks, a simple black cashmere sweater, and a watch that probably cost more than my car. But you wouldn't know it unless you knew. The whole nightmare started when this flight attendant, let's call her Chloe Hayes, came sashaying down the aisle. Chloe was the kind of person who treated the first-class cabin like her personal kingdom. She had decided instantly that Anya didn't belong. Chloe just stops right there, leans in, and her voice is dripping with this fake southern honey. "Excuse me, ma'am? Honey, this isn't the welfare line. First class is for people who can actually afford it." The silence in that cabin, man, it was thick. You could feel every wealthy ear swiveling. Anya, who is pure class, just looks up from her tablet, calm as a lake. She reaches into her blazer pocket, pulls out her boarding pass, and says, "I assure you, I can afford it. Seat 2A. What happens next is, well, it's criminal." Chloe snatches that boarding pass, gives it this theatrical squint like she's checking for watermarks, and then she slaps it back against Anya's chest. Not hard, but with intent, It was meant to echo. It was meant to humiliate. "Don't try to scam your way up here, sweetie Anya. Dr. Vance, she doesn't even flinch. She just adjusts her blazer, that little movement catching the light on her Patek Philippe watch, the one no one recognized. She's thinking, have you ever been so underestimated that people couldn't see the power right in front of them?" Chloe wasn't done playing Queen of the Sky. She pulls out her own phone, flips it into selfie mode, and starts a live stream. "Hey y'all, it's your girl Chloe, dealing with a little drama in first class this morning. We got another one trying to sneak into the fancy seats." The comments immediately started rolling in, laughing emojis, cynical comments, the whole internet. Toxicity swirling around this one black woman who dared to sit into The guy in 1C, a middle-aged hedge fund type named Brad, immediately pulls out his phone and starts recording Anya, narrating quietly, "This is what entitlement looks like." Posts it to X with the hashtag firstclassfraud.anya knew right then that this wasn't just about a seat. This was about a system. This was about assumption, bias, and the privilege Chloe felt to judge her on sight. It was ugly. So while Chloe's announcing over the headset, "Security to gate 14B, we have a non-compliant passenger," Anya quietly pulls out her own phone. She sends 3 quick, specific text messages. One to her chief of staff, one to her general counsel, and one simply labeled Pinnacle Lead. The clock was ticking. There were 10 minutes past boarding. The security guys, Officer Dave and Officer Miller, come marching on. They're big. They fill the aisle. Manager Mr. Silas, a stiff guy in a uniform that looked too tight, was right behind them. Silas doesn't even look at Anya. He looks at Chloe. "What's the situation?" "Passenger in the wrong seat, sir," Chloe chirps. Instantly professional, but still live streaming the drama. "She's refusing to move where she belongs, coach." Mr. Silas finally turns to Anya. He sees the expensive Hermes Birkin bag, the simple elegance. He doesn't see a CEO. Sees a high-level scammer, maybe someone with a very good fake ID. He asks for her documents again. Anya smiles, just a sliver of a smile, and hands them over. Silas examines the pass seat to a paid $3,000 in the ID. Dr. Anya Vance, Hyde Park, Atlanta. "The documents appear legitimate, ma'am," Silas says, still condescending. "But we've seen high-quality forgeries recently. I'll need to verify this through our central system." It was a fishing expedition. He wanted her to fold. He wanted her to show one moment of doubt so he could drag her off the plane and make his life easier. Brad, in 1C, is still recording. His video has hit 500 shares. The comments are brutal. "Just remove her already. Typical incompetence." Anya just nods, calm as ever. "Professional verification is always appropriate." "Mr. Silas, But before you make any irreversible decisions, I suggest you call the captain to the cabin personally. Mr. Silas scoffs. I have full authority here. The captain delegates passenger issues to senior management. I understand that, sir, Anya replies, her voice dropping lower, but somehow carrying more weight. But some decisions require the captain's direct attention. Then she reaches into her bag. Everyone is watching. Brad is zooming in with his phone. What is she going to pull out? A lawyer, a weapon. She pulls out a simple black leather business card holder. She takes one card, a thick, expensive stock card, and places it face down on her tray table. Her fingers just rest on the back. It's a subtle gesture, but it held the entire cabin in suspense. Mr. Silas gives the final warning. Ma'am, 10 seconds to comply. Security will assist your removal. The elderly woman in 1D actually claps softly. Brad is narrating how entitlement always loses. And then, over the intercom, cutting through the tension, comes the voice of Captain Alina Rojas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Due to an operational issue, we will be experiencing a brief additional delay. Flight attendants, please pause all departure preparations. Silas is confused. He didn't request a pause. A moment later, the first officer pops out and tells Silas, the captain needs you in the cockpit immediately. She asked about the passenger and 2A specifically. Silas's face drains of color. How did the captain know about 2A? He was gone for less than 3 minutes. While he's scrambling toward the cockpit, Anya slowly lifts her fingers. The light catches the gold embossed lettering on the card for the first time. The young woman in 3B. Maria, a young Latina who works in aviation logistics and knows the industry, gasps. Oh my God, she whispers. Mr. Silas and Captain Rojas emerge from the cockpit. Silas looks like he's seen a ghost. Captain Rojas, distinguished woman with 30 years of aviation experience, walks directly to Anya's seat. Asterisk, everyone step back from seat to A immediately, Captain Rojas commands. Her voice is absolute authority. The security officers instantly comply. Captain Rojas approaches Anya, bowing her head slightly. Ma'am, Dr. Vance, I sincerely apologize. There's been a terrible misunderstanding. Anya looks up, calm, collected, and devastating. Captain, I appreciate your intervention, but I think this has gone beyond a simple misunderstanding. As you can see, she gestures to the 20 or so phones recording them. Double quotes. This is already a highly documented incident. Captain Rojas's jaw tightens. She understands the digital damage instantly. Dr. Vance, please accept the airline's full apology. Anya then picks up her business card and holds it up for the entire cabin, and more importantly, for Brad's zooming camera to see. The card simply read, Aurora Dynamics. Dr. Anya Vance, Chief Executive Officer and Founder, Primary Contractor, Commercial Aviation Division. Brad in 1C reads it aloud for his live stream. Aurora Dynamics. CEO and Founder. His voice dies. The chat explodes. Aurora Dynamics? They lease planes. Holy snap. That flight attendant just messed with the landlord. Captain Rojas, a professional pilot, knows that name. Aurora Dynamics controls over $10 billion in aviation assets. They are one of the big three. Ma'am, the captain whispers, genuinely shaken. I had no idea. Clearly Anya replies, picking up her phone. She pulls up an internal app showing real-time aircraft registrations. This particular aircraft, tail number N508AD, is currently under lease from Aurora Dynamics. Contract value? $2.5 million annually. Maria, in 3B, the young logistics woman, covers her mouth. She knew what this meant. This woman wasn't just rich. She was foundational to the industry. Chloe's confidence finally cracks. It has to be fake. Anyone can print a card at FedEx. Anya gives her a look of ice. Officer Dave, would you like me to call Aurora Dynamics 24-hour verification line? They can confirm my identity and my company's contractual relationship with this aircraft. Officer Dave, to his credit, just backs away. But Anya wasn't finished. She pulls out the second card. This one was even simpler, more minimalist. Pinnacle Capital, Managing Partner, Transportation Sector. Captain Rojas, Anya says, her voice still measured, Aurora Dynamics isn't my only interest here. Pinnacle Capital, which I founded 12 years ago, holds a 12.7% equity stake in Zenith Air's parent company, Consolidated Airways International. We are currently your third largest shareholder. The cabin goes absolutely bonkers. Brad's livestream chat is just incoherent screaming. She owns part of the airline. This is her plane. Chloe's stream dies as she frantically tries to shut it down and delete the evidence. Anya looks at Captain Rojas and Mr. Silas, who is swaying slightly. What would you like us to do, Dr. Vance? The captain asks, defeated. Anya opens her legal document app. Captain, before we discuss resolution, let me show you the relevant contractual clauses. Aurora Dynamics Standard Lease Agreement, Section 47, Discrimination and Hostile Environment Provisions. Any lessee found to engage in discriminatory practices against protected classes may face immediate contract review and potential termination. Then she turns her attention to the Director of Operations, a poor man named Thompson, whom Captain Rojas has patched in on speaker. Director Thompson, Anya's voice is clinical. I'm proposing 3 immediate actions. First, termination of the employee who initiated the discriminatory treatment and violated company policy. Morrison doesn't hesitate. Done. Second, suspension and mandatory retraining for the manager, Mr. Silas, who escalated the situation without following protocol. Third, a public apology from the captain, acknowledging the discriminatory nature of this incident, not just an operational issue. Morrison's voice is sharp with panic. All 3 actions will be implemented within the hour. Absolutely, Chloe, who had been standing there rigid, finally finds her voice. This is ridiculous. I was just doing my job. Anyone could have made the same mistake. Captain Rojas, whose career was just saved by Anya's clinical approach, glares at Chloe. Miss Hayes, you're terminated, effective immediately. Security will escort you from the aircraft. Chloe's face crumbles. She's escorted off the aircraft, her live stream a smoking ruin, her career gone. But Anya wasn't done with just a firing. She was interested in justice for the next person. Director Thompson, I don't want monetary compensation. I want systematic change that prevents this from happening to other passengers who don't have my resources to fight back. She then laid out the framework, the Aurora Protocol, mandatory bias training, revised verification procedures, and quarterly diversity reports sent directly to her legal team. The airline agreed to everything. Captain Rojas stood up, humbled, and spoke to the entire cabin. He apologized. Not for a delay, but for discrimination. The passengers broke into spontaneous applause. Anya stood too, addressing the witnesses. This wasn't just about me. This was about every person who has faced this in silence. The changes we've implemented today are promises to every future passenger. Brad, the hedge fund guy in 1C, actually apologized to her. I was quick to judge. Thank you for documenting this. Thank you for documenting it, Anya replied. Your video will be part of the training materials. She turned even the negative attention into a tool for change. The plane finally taxied out. 25 minutes late. Dr. Anya Vance sat back in her rightful seat too. Not just as a CEO, but as a silent force who had just reshaped an entire corporation's policy from a chair she was told she didn't deserve. 6 months later, Zenith Air reported a 73% reduction in discrimination complaints. They expanded their contract with Aurora Dynamics by $340 million. And Anya, seeing the power of her strategic patience, founded the Dignity in Transit Foundation. Providing legal aid to travelers facing bias, it's a story about karma. Yeah, but it's really about leverage. It shows that sometimes the most powerful response isn't a scream. It's the quiet, strategic application of power, guided by principle. Anya didn't raise her voice to raise the standard. She just made a phone call. But here's the controversial part. The thing I want to hear your thoughts on down in the comments was what Anya did justice, or was it a purely capitalist exercise of power? Chloe was awful. Yes. But should a single flight attendant's mistake be enough to trigger a near $1 billion contract review and mandate corporate policy across an entire airline? Do you think change only happens when the victim is a CEO? Or can we all learn to apply this level of strategic accountability? Let me know what you think. And if you've ever been underestimated in a space you earned, drop a comment and tell us how you handled it. Your experience matters. Hit subscribe if you want more stories about quiet power and dignified triumph.